Welcome to Week 7 of New Testament Exposition 1. Dr. Brian Tucker, and I've designed this course to give you key information to better interpret the New Testament. In the 7th week, you will focus on Paul, the man and his message. The format will not follow what you've experienced the last few weeks, but will be more like Week 1. Also, this week you will have a timeline of Paul's ministry due. This week's lesson on Paul will begin with a discussion of Paul and Jesus reconnected. We will cover the history of the debate, evidence of Paul's lack of concern for the teachings of Jesus and the life of Jesus, and then we'll look at evidence of Paul's concern for the teaching and life of Jesus. And then we'll end this section with the discussion of continuity and discontinuity between Paul and Jesus. The next major section will discuss Paul and the law, and specifically the new perspective on Paul. It'll introduce the scholastic perspective, the Lutheran perspective, the new perspective, variations of the new perspective, and a critique of the new perspective. Then we will consider the life of Paul. Here we'll look at the early life and training of Paul, his conversion, his missionary travels, his appearance, his gospel, and a Pauline chronology. We will then conclude the lesson with a discussion of covenantal nomism or variegated nomism, beyond the new perspective on Paul or the radical perspective on Paul. As you begin your studies this week, make sure you continue to pay attention to the study questions as they provide an outline for your study guide for the final exam. As you do your reading in your textbook on pages 366 to 404, you'll notice places where I'll follow closely with the book and places where I will divert in a significant way. Make sure you have plenty of time to view this week's narrated video, and it may require actually 2 views. Use the script to take notes as you view the lecture. This week you will submit another written assignment, Assignment 7.1. You are to prepare a timeline for Paul's ministry, beginning with the Damascus Road and ending with the traditional date of Paul's death in Rome. Include sections on the following. First, Paul's early life and his first missionary journey. Second, Paul's first missionary journey. Third, the Jerusalem Council. Fourth, second missionary journey. Fifth, the third missionary journey. Sixth, imprisonments and journey to Rome. Seventh, dates for his letter writing throughout and chronology. Include extra-biblical substantiation for dates when possible. You also have a discussion board for this week. It covers the following. There's another group of Pauline scholars known as Beyond the New Perspective on Paul, or the Radical Perspective on Paul. Find out who these scholars are and name them. What do they believe, and critique their views. You may see my book, You Belong to Christ, pages 13, page 87, note 121, for initial ideas. This book can be searched or purchased at Amazon.com. As a reminder, you have only 150 words per post. So do your investigations into the emerging group of Pauline scholars, post your conclusions, and then read other people's posts and reply to at least 2 of them. Well, I hope you enjoy your experience this week in your New Testament studies as we finish our 7th week in the New Testament perspective on Paul.